Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A new update on the price of Bitcoin. I finally returned from my trip so I can make those videos a little bit more regularly. So now we're looking at the Bitcoin price on the weekly time frame. You see this blue support line through the whole history of Bitcoin price, and recently during this rally, parabolic rise of Bitcoin price, we actually saw the price above this line, but it was too fast, and now the price returned below this line. And in fact, this is actually a bullish sign. This was the first test. Now we will be able to make a second test, third test, and finally we'll break it upwards, which would mean a new phase of the bull market, meaning that we will add to the probability of the established growth. So we'll unlikely see this continuation of the bear market in 2018. So no more lows like $3,000, $2,000, something like that. In other words, in the long term, bulls have very nice chances to win. On a bit shorter time scale, daily time scale, we have an interesting situation. So first of all, the price, after it tests the baseline of Bollinger Bands, went above it, and now it still holds in this area. However, it is not approaching the upper band, which may mean that the Bollinger Bands baseline is tested from the top, and we may see a little bit of the drop below that, but it would mean that the correction will be continued only if we'll see the candle closed below that, and without it we're still in a pretty bullish scenario. I think that this looks more or less as the consolidation pattern after the rise and correction. We saw the lower low during this correction, we saw the relatively nice volume, so there is no really need to have something deeper than those 30% which we already saw. Moreover, we had this support for price of Bitcoin several times tested, and we didn't even touch it during this correction, so we're still in pretty much the same trend, and the price of $9,500 held strong. I think the lowest was something like $9,600, so our targets played out fairly well. But speaking about the local situation, so the price is actually in a very narrow range. So you see first this channel, descending channel, and we established it with several tests from the top. From the bottom part we have this baseline of the Bollinger Bands, and also somewhere around here we have our moving average multiplied by a certain coefficient. So the price is within this narrow range between these lines, and it's actually very little time left for the price to decide where to go. So basically the breakout one or another way will define the direction of the next move. And in fact, if we look at the even shorter time scale, like 4-hour time scale, you'll see that after this parabolic rise we had the correction which you could describe by ABC Elliott wave, and technically from now on you may expect something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, roughly of course, but the idea is that as soon as we'll see the higher highs, higher lows, and the move above previous high around $12,400, we will see the new uptrend. But otherwise we should be very careful, because if we'll not see this higher high, then all that ABC part may be actually a part of the bigger ABC move, something like this, and potentially even like this. So technically we could go above this high and still drop to the new low. So we really need to see the structure like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order to make this scenario invalid. So let's be very careful and see how the price will evolve during this period of time. In fact, right now is the most difficult time for the trading, because you see the price doesn't make significant moves, we don't have the trend, we have the consolidation, the time when the next move is sort of unclear, so we have to be patient. We shouldn't let our emotions to drive our trading decisions. Like we see some minor moves of the price, and from that we may be affected in the way like, oh, the price will go to the new low, or okay, the new bull run started. No, we have the certain triggers which will signal us that the new trend is established or the old trend is still in power. So let's follow those and try to avoid our emotions. A little bit more of uncertainty is added by the SOPR indicator. As we already mentioned it several times, you can see that on July the 1st the value of indicator dropped below 1. It was 0.999715, etc., which means that this is a potentially end of the corrective move, and in fact after that we saw the price going up. So the higher lows on SOPR indicator would mean that we probably finished this correction. However, a little bit of the uncertainty is added when you have the smoothing of this indicator value, and on 7 days we didn't even touch the level of 1 with this indicator. However, despite the fact that it may imply that the correction is not over, the fact that the value of indicator is so close to 1 means that there's not so much of the room to fall. So again, that $9,500 or even higher may be the lowest point where we see the price, even if the correction will continue. Now finally, I was going to mention altcoins, and although there was a period of time when altcoins moved even against Bitcoin, and in Bitcoin they actually grew, but dollar-wise they are pretty much on the same level, or they even going down the same as Bitcoin. However, the fact that they don't go down as fast as Bitcoin or even faster than Bitcoin means that we still have the chance for the so-called alt season coming soon. However, we shall be very patient because, with such a slow reversal patterns which we see with many altcoins, it's very, very unlikely that we'll see explosive moves like before until there will be some baseline established. So don't wait your 10x or 100x tomorrow or next week. Let's be very patient. Let's see that the reversal patterns that are formed by the many altcoins out there are actually valid. Alright guys, so that is it for today. Once again, let's be patient. Let's see how the price will evolve during this consolidation. I still believe that we'll see a new rise. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching.